Okay, hello.
Hello.
Welcome, guys, to episode 26 of Hello Hello the podcast. I am your host, Raammo, and this is Jenz.
Hi.
Uh, welcome, Jenz, back to another week, 26th week in a row, sort of, actually. Asterisk on that one, because we
Asterisk.
did miss a week for one thing, but
How dare we?
you get the gist. Yeah, how dare we, honestly. Honestly slacking off. But yeah, we are back once again. I am back from another week in lockdown, unfortunately. We got the news this morning that we have to do another week, which honestly, like, to me, it's not that bad. I don't really mind, you know. But my hair does, because I don't know if you've noticed, Jens, if you're watching the videos, but like for the past 3 or 4 weeks, I've been wearing a hat constantly. And I desperately need a haircut. I have not been able to get a haircut for I don't know
Emma
how long
can
now,
do
just
it.
because the barbers have been closed. Honestly, I have been tempted. I have been tempted.
You could try.
I have also been tempted to just do like a 3-month stint with a buzz cut, and see how that goes. But I do fear for my regrowth because it might not grow back as nice. So
It is a pain, that regrowth, I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah. So I was like, you know what? I'll just be patient. I'll just wear hats. I have honestly got a Coles hat now, like that I wear at work because I just hate it that much.
Like a Coles brand hat?
Yeah, Coles brand hat. Yeah,
Oh.
it's a big red hat that says Coles on it.
Nice.
Like it's just so I can hide my hair at work. Because
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
Oh.
Disgusts me. But yeah, so hopefully next week I will be able to get a haircut. I will be the first in line up there at like 9 a.m. whenever
I'm
they
sure
open or
you and
whatever.
a lot of other men with like hats in
Yeah.
line.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I can't
fun.
wait. But yeah, how's your week been? Hopefully more exciting than mine.
You know what? Ish. I went to an indie night last night, actually, in Adelaide.
Oh.
At AIE.
Okay, yeah.
They hosted, and there were like a couple of like maybe 6 to 10 devs basically showcasing their games.
Yeah.
It was really cute. I've never been to something like that other than PAX.
Was there anything that? Yeah, obviously they just have the indie zone at PAX now, which is always fun. I love walking around there and seeing. There's so many passionate devs. And a lot of them, Aussie devs and stuff like that. But it's always fun to be able to talk to them and sort of see the process behind why they made this game or how they made this game.
Oh, totally.
And just the love and sweat and tears that they pour into it. Because obviously there's all the big games that come out every year, like your Call of Duties, your Battlefields, your like the FIFAs and stuff like that. And I feel like a lot of the devs on those, that they just don't have the same amount of passion that some of these indie devs do, because they're just churning them out every year, like, sort of the same shit every day.
Yeah.
And there are some real good gems, some indie gems out there. Unpacking is one that I'm really excited for. I managed to speak to the devs. I honestly can't remember
PAX,
when I last spoke to them, like the PAX, but I honestly can't remember what PAX it was because it's been that long now. I think it was like 2 years ago.
I think
year and a half, 2 years ago, something. Yeah, that's what I'm really looking forward to. It looks like a super zen, just literally an unpacking game. I can't wait. I don't know why I want to play it, but I want to play it.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, no. So, was there anything that stood out to you though, like that's on your radar now, or?
So I don't know if you remember, We Are Robots. I think that's what their name.
Yes.
Yeah, We Are Robots. They're an Adelaide company. They did like a little digital skit show with Hex Steph, and the Aussie Man Reviews person voiced the little robot.
Yep. Yep.
But they had a game.
I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. You'll know when you see it. But they had a game called, I think it was Box Night or something like that. It basically was like a worker in an office fighting like these golem looking things, and it kind of looked like Stick of Truth, South Parky feels.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So yeah, I'm interested on what they do with that further when it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Well, I guess we can sort of jump into the topics we have because we do have a little bit, and we might get a little bit in depth into some of the stuff later on.
Yes.
But obviously we're going to start off this week with sort of the biggest news of the week, I would guess.
I mean, we had this coming.
This came out of like, we knew this was coming. I was honestly taken aback though last night when I heard about it because I was like, this is so random. It was just out of the blue.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting in Twitch chat in Steven's Twitch chat, and someone in chat was like, "Did you see the new Switch got announced?" And I was like,
"Oh,
"You're kidding."
right."
So I ran straight to Twitter. I couldn't see anything on Twitter. I was like, "This is weird." And then I went to Reddit, and then obviously it was all over Reddit.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool, here it is. But yeah, I went to the official Nintendo YouTube account and I saw the trailer for it. The weird name, they called it Nintendo Switch OLED model.
Not very creative, if I'm not gonna lie.
Doesn't roll off the tongue. Yeah, it doesn't roll off the tongue that nicely.
But I'm wondering if they're leaving the Switch Pro, like the word Pro, for later.
Yeah. I mean, who knows if they're going to call it a Pro, because, I mean, they've never called any of their other models a Pro, like, obviously, or any of their other, like, mid-generation iterations, like, you know, the DS came out with, like, the DS Lite, and obviously they've got the Switch Lite now and stuff like that, but then there was the 3DS, and then there was the 3DS New, or the new 3DS, or... You know, like they've never called anything a Pro model. And I feel like Nintendo is the one company that's going to stay away from the word Pro or professional or like anything like that, just because their games are never, other than maybe Super Smash Brothers or something like that, but their games are never sort of, I guess, like aligned with a professional gaming sense, you know, like obviously PlayStation, Xbox, there's like the FIFAs and the Call of Duties and all that, like all those nationals they have, but Nintendo... They never really have any like professional games,
right?
I guess, you know. So I feel like they might steer clear of the word Pro, and they might call it something different, something more fun. I don't know. Hopefully, something better than OLED model. But
well, this is what we've got: OLED model.
This is what we got. So I'm just gonna run through a couple of specs. You know, it's very similar to the current Switch, the normal Switch that we have, just with a couple of little upgrades. So it's still a multi-touch screen, but it's now gone to a 7-inch screen, which is slightly bigger than the Switch's 6.2-inch. Got the exact same CPU and GPU. The normal Switch is touchscreen at the moment. It's still multi-touch.
Oh fuck! I've never touched it.
You've never touched it? Go touch it later. It's a touchscreen,
touch? Bro. Oh shit!
It's a touchscreen, bro.
Oh,
yeah, it's the whole last thing. No. That's all. That's all. They have upgraded the storage now, so it's 64 gigs instead of 32, which, you know, is a welcome addition because that 32 gigs stored up real quick. It does have the same battery, and on the website I saw, it does still tote the exact same battery life length, so it ranges from 3 to 9 hours, obviously depending on what game you play. But this also comes with like a little asterisk next to it, I guess, because we do have an OLED screen in it now. For those that don't know, OLED screens they're a lot more efficient than LCDs and whatnot, especially with darker colors, because they're able to turn off individual pixels.
Oh, that's right.
And sort of like, you know, areas and stuff like that.
So it won't drain obviously the battery.
Like, I mean, it's got an asterisk next to it because it's still going to drain the battery, but it might, depending on what game, if the game is like a lot darker or, you know, there's not as much color or something on it.
Cells.
It doesn't have to like produce as much sort of energy to output all that. So it could be a little bit better, but there's still,
but then I think, the opposite as well.
You know, exactly. Yeah. I think they're just edging on the safer side of things and still giving it the exact same battery life as the original Switch, because it's like a much of a muchness. And if it is going to be any more efficient, it's only going to be like a couple of minutes or like, you know, 20 or so minutes. It's not going to be like 2 hours.
Yeah, it's not going to
be anything like significant, you know?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite thing, honestly, is the adjustable stand.
Honestly, it's
great. Oh, it's so dumb.
The stupid
Switch stand currently.
Skinny kickstand shit.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
It's so flimsy. It only comes out at one angle. It like falls over all the time. I never put it in like in the original ad when I first got my I first saw like the Switch announced, whatever, and the guy props it on his tray table in the plane. I was like, no, that's dumb. No. Like in an airport lounge, sure, because you got like a table, but like in a plane, I hit anything of any like just inkling of turbulence, that Switch is gone. Like it's fallen over, you know? Like if I sneeze or the guy 3 rows in front of me sneezes, it's going to reverberate so much that the Switch falls over. That stupid stand is so flimsy.
Even then, if it does stay miraculously, like the angle is just so bad.
The angle, it's too harsh.
Terrible. So the fact that this is adjustable and stays at I don't know how it's going to stay at each thing. Maybe it's just really stiff, so it stays at each angle.
It's similar to like, for those that haven't seen the ad, it's similar to, basically think of a laptop and how a laptop opens up, and like there's sort of a pressure to open it up and put it at a certain angle, and whenever you keep it at that angle, it stays at that angle. It doesn't just flip flop about. It's basically the reverse of that. So instead of opening, it's standing on its back, if that makes sense. Like it's hard to explain, but
I see what you mean.
It'd have the same sort of things as that. It'd have like these little like rubber gaskets probably in there that help it stay at a certain angle, because there's just friction holding it together and whatnot. It'd be something like that. But yeah, super excited for that. Gonna be the exact same Joy-Cons, sort of unsurprisingly, I guess. It would have been nice if they addressed like the stick drift issue that they've been having. I do have to now repair my left Joy-Con once more, because I have got stick drift again. But it's super easy. Like, to anyone with rudimentary sort of ineptness with technology, you'll be able to figure it out. But obviously for kids and stuff like that that maybe don't take care of their Switch as much as well, it's probably going to be a real problem. So it would have been nice if they addressed this or made it a bit sturdier, or upgraded it somehow, but it doesn't look like they have, so kind of stupid.
Bit of a shame.
Yeah, a bit of a shame, but what can you do? We do now finally have an inbuilt LAN port or Ethernet port on the dock. So for those that want to play like online games and things like that, you can have internet directly plugged in, so hopefully you get a better connection rather than just using like wireless or having to use like a third-party Ethernet adapter. Now it is up for pre-order at the moment as well. It's coming out October
8th, I believe.
18th, I want to say, or 8th. It's got an 8 in the date in October.
Pretty sure it's 8.
But it's coming out towards the end of the year, so right before Christmas and things like that, which does lead me to believe that we're not going to get another model, like a more powerful model, because that seems like it's kind of leaving it a bit too late, But it is going to be, so if you haven't got a Switch already, the normal retail price is going to be the exact same. It's going to be $539 or $540. But for those of us that live here in Australia, October 8th, okay, cool, yeah. Those that live in Australia, if you wanted to, you could trade in your original Switch and you'd get the new OLED model for $299. So you'd get like $240 knocked off, which isn't horrible. But it's also not amazing, like
still
it
$300.
could have been better, but it's still $300, which is quite expensive. It's
wait.
For not that much more.
I'm gonna ask you, knowing all, because you were very much like, yes, I'm gonna get this. I was very
much gonna get one. Yeah.
But with all, now that we have proper information about what the model is and what comes with it and the price point to Switch, are you going to do it still?
You know what? I still think I will, but only for the fact that I have the saving grace of a level 4 EB Worlds card, so that I get a bonus. I think it's 15 or 20% trade-in towards whatever it is, so it's going to knock a little bit off again.
That's pretty good.
Which is, that's how I got my PlayStation 5 for so cheap.
That's right.
I was able to, like, so I feel like that would be the saving grace for me. If I didn't have a level 4 EV World card, I would probably skip it and just tough it out with the current Switch that I have until I, until they maybe release a more powerful model, or there's like a Switch 2 that comes out, or whatever the next Nintendo console is going to be. I
must say I'm actually relieved that it's the same price as a normal Switch. Well, maybe like $10 or $20 more, but because I don't know what the normal Switches go for now.
Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of retailers here and probably all around the world are going to start slinging off the original Switches at a lot of a discounted price.
I think they're like $480 somewhere I saw.
Yeah, $480 sounds about right and then that might have been a sale price too. I'm not too sure. It's been a while since I bought my Switch.
It's a real shame that there isn't a graphical update. It's the same CPU, GPU, which I was really hoping that they would do this, but apparently not.
I mean, I guess it's also kind of hard to.
Oh, it is. It would be a lot of work.
Factor and things like that. It's they probably need a lot more development time and things like that too, and they probably wanted to get something out sooner rather than later, obviously, you know, because the Switch has been
that's
around for
probably the thing.
what, 4 years now? Something 4 or 5 years. Like it's
that
coming towards
compared
the
to
end of
like
its
a
life cycle.
PlayStation is
Yeah, I mean, you think most video game life cycle, like the console life cycles, are like 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
You know, so if it's already at the fifth year mark now, it's, you know, probably got a good 2 or 3 years remaining until Nintendo maybe release something new, or, you know, sort of discontinue it, I guess. So it's probably not worthwhile to release a pro model this late in its life cycle, I feel, you know. Like you'd aim to do it around the 3 year mark, 4 years at the latest. So you could still get a good like 3 or 4 years out of it. But yeah, I don't know. I think, like I said, I think I'd still pick it up, the OLED model, because it is a pretty good, like, as much as it is such a small upgrade, it is still a pretty big one in the sense that it's an OLED screen, because OLED screens do look so much nicer than LCD.
It would look
so
good.
much nicer.
It would look good.
Yeah, and I do like most of the games I play as well. They're not incredibly, you know, demanding. Like I'm playing Super Mario Odyssey. I'm playing like, you know, Mario Kart. Like it'd be nice to see them in more fidelity, like, you know, 60 frames per second and stuff like that. But it's, yeah.
Would that mean also?
And when I play, when I play Breath of the Wild, I always play it in docked mode.
Right.
I rarely play it in handheld mode just because it feels better in docked mode, you know. So yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
With the OLED, would that mean, because like trying to play a Switch game out when it's really sunny outside is really hard because you can't see the screen. So
yeah,
would
so
that be
OLEDs
better
are
with
a
the
lot
OLED?
brighter.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, OLEDs are a lot brighter. You know, they're a lot crispier and stuff like that. They typically get high pixel densities than LCDs and things. Like if you look real close at your Switch, like if you put it right up to your face,
you could see.
I mean, if you look real close, you can sort of see where the pixels start and end and things like that. OLEDs, obviously, they get high pixel density, so it looks a lot crispier, as much as it is still the same resolution at, like, you know, 1080p docked mode and 720p handheld. It still does look crispier, as silly as that sounds. And then obviously as well, like I said earlier, you do get the benefit of like rough battery performance, you know, like better performance because it's sort of more efficient and stuff like that. So it's, it is, as much as it is like a minor upgrade, it still is a nice upgrade, a needed upgrade, I feel. I feel like I haven't had a phone that hasn't had an OLED screen for the past 6 years, 7 years, something like that. You know, they're very readily available. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you don't have a Switch and you were thinking to get a Switch, maybe it's a good consideration to go up the something price point, but
yeah. I mean, if it's going to be roughly the exact same retail price within a couple of, you know, dollars either way or something like that, it'd be kind of silly to buy a normal Switch.
Yeah, unless, I think so. Unless it's really cheap.
That's the thing. I'm thinking now, unless you wanted to, like, if you wanted to play just Breath of the Wild or like just Super Mario Odyssey, and you were waiting for a decent enough sale on like a Switch, just pick up the normal Switch at the moment and just play it in docked mode to get like 1080p, you know, and like a little bit like better performance graphically and whatnot. But if you're sort of like a hardcore Switch player, or you're looking to get something to take with you, like if you travel a lot and you want to take something with you a lot.
I mean, no one is right now, but
like
if you can,
no one is, but yeah,
on trains,
yeah,
I don't know.
There is.
I don't know, because even like the storage upgrade, you just change the SD card.
Yeah, I literally
everyone's done
Amazon
that.
Prime Day like 2 years ago or something. I got like a whole 128 gig SD card for like $16 or something. Like,
I think people with the Xbox do that as well, because you can with Xbox, but
you have to.
Can't with PlayStation.
You basically have to.
Yeah,
the games are so big these days. Hang on, I think you can now. I think you can, but it's not as accessible. So the new Xbox, the Xbox One S or whatever they're called, there is like a little, it's like the old school memory card that you just slot in the back. So like the old PS2 days and the old like original Xbox days, you had a memory card that you'd put in the front. It's basically similar to that. You just got to get the official SD. SSD. Sorry, you got to get like the Seagate Xbox SSD and then slot it in the back. But the PS5, if you wanted to, you can mod it. There is a free M.2 SSD slot on the board itself.
Right.
So you have to take the whole shroud off, then you have to take the black cover off underneath. It's a lot more like sort of, I guess, technical.
Yeah.
But you can do the upgrade. But having said that, Sony do only support a set sort of range of
course.
M.2 SSDs. They're not like, you can't just whack any old M.2 in there. It's got to be a certain speed and a certain, like, rating and stuff like that to be able to load everything the way that Sony wants you to load it. And it's a whole shebang. So, and I think as well, even when you install that M.2, you still can't install PS5 games onto it. I think it'll only be used for storage of other things, so like PS4 games, or if you download movies or music onto it. Just for the fact that the PS5 games require that super speed SSD, or whatever that's in it, to be able to play the way they're meant to be played, So I think that's also a caveat. I could be wrong. I'm not too sure, but I do remember reading on it ages ago. But it's So you can upgrade your storage and basically everything these days, which is good. I feel like once that stops, that's going to be dangerous, and that's where I'm going to start flicking towards just PC gaming, because things fill up so quick these days. It's not even funny. Like, the first thing I look at when I go into EB Games or GB Hi-Fi and I pick up a new PS5 game, I flip it over and I look at the back to see minimum required space.
Oh, really? I never look at it.
That's the first thing I look at. Because I gotta like mentally calculate. I'm like, okay, so I've got 4 games already installed.
Yeah, which one do you uninstall?
This amount. How much do I have to uninstall? Have I finished one, or am I close to finishing one? Do I have to finish it first? It's stupid, But yeah. So new Switch coming out sometime later this year. I'm excited for it. I'll probably pick it up. I'll let you know how I go if I do pick it up.
Please do.
But, yeah. Jenz, do you want to take us into a sort of, I guess, a good This is a very Nintendo episode I'm looking at now.
It's very Nintendo episode, so we kind of lined it up
focused.
fairly well.
I'm not complaining. I love Nintendo.
Yeah, you are a Nintendo boy.
With it.
Speaking of Nintendo franchises, Monopoly meets Animal Crossing. It's, I think, already out. And it looks really cute.
Wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
Yeah. Like those little, I don't know what you call them, but the avatars that you use in Monopoly. But there's like
the little character pew things, whatever.
Yeah. So there's Animal Crossing versions. No, they're like, the poster of Animal Crossing with the humans in them.
Oh, okay, the villagers. Yeah. Okay.
That you never meet in the game.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay.
So they're there. Your favorite, whoever the fuck.
Your favorite random characters?
Yep. Yeah. And then the railroad spaces are going to be Dodo Airlines, and the properties are fruit, fossil, fish, and bug themed. So that'll be cool.
That's kind of cute.
You do go to jail and have free parking. I wish they did a jail. They would never do this, but I wish they did the jail thing of like, you didn't pay your taxes to Nook.
Tom Nook's tax haven.
Yeah. And like Nook's really like there with like a bat or something. It'd be so good.
We can mod it. We'll buy it. We'll buy it, and we'll just print our own little thing and just stick over it. Yeah,
absolutely.
That'll be fun.
So yeah, I think this is available. It's smaller than the usual Monopoly boards, but apparently that's pretty normal for alternate themed versions of the game. Yeah, I think you can get that for like
especially
pretty cheap
because Animal Crossing is obviously also sort of geared towards like a younger audience as well, and whatnot. So obviously they're not going to understand like get a board game based around like mortgages and trading and
you learn young, all right? Learn young that you need all the properties to make money.
Stop. Don't ever. It's unfeasible to buy a house in the current climate. I'm 23. I don't think I'll be able to afford a house. Don't worry, I'm coming.
Hey. Just don't tell anyone else.
I do wonder. I wonder if like the chance and those sorts of cards are like Animal Crossing themed. Obviously, they would be to some degree.
You would hope
but like,
so, but I don't know how much.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, a butterfly got loose.
Hang on. What? Is the currency in bells as well, or is it still Monopoly dollars?
I reckon it would be in bells, but I'm not sure because the article that I read did not go into that much detail. So maybe someone, if you have this Monopoly board, you can tell us. But they better be in bells.
That'd be silly if they're not. I'm not buying it if it doesn't have bells.
Right.
Like, But yeah, that's kind of fun.
A
I
little
wonder it's probably
random
going to be
topic.
expensive because it's Nintendo and Monopoly. Like most Monopoly boards are quite expensive. Like, even though there are so many of them out there, they're still pushing like 60, 70, $80 for some of them.
And they're so old. Like they've
It's
been
kind of
around for
crazy.
ages. But if I could
Yeah,
get any Monopoly board, I get the one with the credit card.
we have that.
Damn.
Yeah, the original one that came out I don't know how long ago.
Ages
Very
ago.
easy to cheat with. Very easy to
Oh,
cheat
really?
with.
You program it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, like I every time we'd play, I would just say I'll be the banker.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
even when
Yeah.
I played normal Monopoly, I enjoyed being the banker just because I like it handling the money and like handing it all out and stuff like that. Like that
Just
was
put
just
like an
fun
extra
to me.
10
Um,
down.
Dude, it's so easy with the fucking credit card thing.
Did you just
Because
put a
like I
zero?
hold the little credit card, I hold like the ATM module or whatever, and whenever I go around the board and whatnot, it's like collect two like for the credit card, it's like it times everything by 10. So instead of collecting like
Yeah.
$2,000 for pass and go, it's like collect $20,000 for pass and go. So every time I'd go past go, I'd whack an extra zero on the end,
Oh,
and then swipe my card, and then debit it on, like because it was just so easy, like because no one could see you pick the money up.
Yeah.
It was just entering it. It's
Oh
so
my
easy to
god.
cheat. Yeah. Um,
It should tell
but that
like
is a good one. I do.
20,000 was
Oh,
in like, it should say.
yeah. If only that'd be
Oh
yeah.
well.
20,000 deposited in some robot voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but moving on to our sort of, I think final. I hope final
Yes,
Nintendo
final.
topic of the episode. Final. Okay, cool. I saw this a couple of days ago and got mad depressed. In
Oh.
a similar sense to when they announced that Super Mario
Super
World
Mario
was
World, yeah.
coming out in Japan. But because I'm a very big Pokemon fan, I do enjoy Pokemon. I have a Ditto sitting on my microphone right now. But they are releasing, or not releasing, I guess, but opening another theme park in Japan called Pokemon Wonder Park. Somewhere on the outskirts of Tokyo, I'm pretty sure. It is behind an original theme park currently that has nothing to do with Nintendo or any of the Nintendo properties in there. But I think this theme park owns the land behind it, so they're partnering with Nintendo to make this. But for those that don't know, Pokemon was sort of originally developed after the creator was inspired by walking around and picking up bugs and collecting bugs as a kid.
Oh.
Which is also quite a popular pastime, I think, in Japan, because for the past couple of years, the Pokemon company over there has released like these little bug catcher, like sort of holder things, I guess, you know, that look like Pokeballs,
Oh,
and so
cool.
they're releasing another two this year. I think the Master Ball and another one. I'm not sure what it's stylized after. But so apparently it's quite a popular pastime in Japan. Like a lot of kids just go around and collect bugs and stuff like that, in the summer when they're off school. So which is kind of cool. But yeah, that was why Pokemon originally came to be, because the creator just liked collecting bugs.
Damn, I didn't know that.
And so yeah, there's your fun fact for the day.
Yeah.
And so I guess this is sort of being opened in the same vein of that, is they want to sort of capture the imagination and I guess the joy of sort of walking through nature and discovering these like tiny pocket monsters. So it's touted as like a nature adventure, as they call it. And it's going to be, like I said, opening in Tokyo just for a limited time between July 17th this month and then April 3rd, 2022. So it's going to be open for roughly a year. It's going to be a 48,000 square foot forest-based theme park where guests can walk around and discover Pokemon hiding in their natural habitats.
That's really cool.
And so I would have had some photos up behind us for those that are watching the YouTube video. So I do recommend, if you're just listening, check the YouTube video out or Google this because the photos look adorable. Like I don't know how to describe it. It is. It's like a Pokemon zoo. It's great. They've like created these like I guess statues or figures of these Pokemon as to how they would look, I guess, in real life. There's also some that are like made out of nature themselves, so it looks like a Metapod, for example. There was an image of Metapod that I saw that looked like he was folded in origami from like a leaf. So he looked like an actual, like he was made from a leaf basically, and he was sitting in a tree. It looks adorable. Like I
wonder
really
if they
hope
move,
that someone,
or they're just statues. They're probably just statues.
So. I think they're just going to be stationary statues. Yeah. I feel like if they were doing a more permanent like
then
thing, they would make like they'd do an animatronic type thing, But yeah, I really hope I know when the Super Mario World opened in Japan. I know I saw a bunch of videos recommended on my YouTube of people walking around the park and sort of like exploring it and things like that and showcasing it for those that couldn't make it. And I stopped myself from watching it because I was like, no, I'm gonna go there one day and I want to experience it like totally
believe.
sort of fresh.
Yeah.
But I sort of for this one because it's going to be a limited time, and I really am quite unoptimistic that I'm going to make it to Japan before April 3rd, 2022. I feel like I'm going to have to watch like a walkthrough video that someone does if they are able to, I feel like that's going to be the only thing that is as close as I'm going to get to this. Which is quite sad, but yeah, I'm still super excited for those that do get to see it because it looks absolutely amazing. Like if you're in Japan, if you happen to be in Japan between these dates, I would highly suggest checking this out because it looks incredible. It's just sad that I can't go. I'll stick to Pokemon Go. I think that's the next closest thing that I have. You can walk around doing Pokemon Go. But yeah,
I don't know. You never know. If it does really well, maybe they'll actually open a park.
That's true. I mean, and the thing too is with this, it seems like it's quite transportable,
Yeah, exactly.
Like obviously they're such small little like sort of, I guess figurines or dioramas or statues, that they could very easily, I guess, transport them around the world. So it'd be kind of cool if they did.
It would be really cool,
that,
actually.
or if they even stylized it to sort of, like different climates and habitats. So obviously like here in Australia we have like obviously we're a lot warmer than some other countries, so obviously it'd be cool if they did like more of a fire type Pokemon adventure down here. And like the Kangaskhan is obviously based after sort of a kangaroo or a marsupial type animal that's very kangaroo like, so like there's obviously influence already from some of these other countries other than Japan. So it'd be cool if they did transport it around and sort of do like a Pokemon tour, I guess. Which would also be cool. They could tote it as like a celebration event for like the 25th anniversary, which is this year. So obviously it wouldn't come this year, but like they could sort of tote it under the same umbrella, I guess, if they wanted to.
Yeah, they could easily do that, but who knows?
It'd be who knows? I don't know. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully, hopefully sometime in the next couple of years they bring something up, but I don't know.
Like this totally reminded me of something I saw, but in I think it was Texas or something, there's currently an exhibit for Jurassic Park, but like it's like did you see this? It's like
I think I know what you're talking about.
Zoo trainers like holding like animatronic baby dinosaurs. It looks so
I have seen that.
cool.
Yeah.
Like legit baby adorable. Dinosaurs. They look so cute.
And it's like that'd be so easy as well to transport again. Obviously, I think like right at the end, I think there was like a giant T-Rex animatronic, and obviously that would be quite tough to disassemble and transport safely and all that sort of stuff. But it is very doable. But yeah, these are the things that are quite easily, like tourable and things like that. I think I saw as well there was like a Minecraft exhibition in a museum. I forget where, maybe somewhere in Europe I'm thinking of. But I went to their website to see if they had any like dates about any other potential like tour locations and whatnot. And they had like a thing at the bottom that was like a contact us if you're interested in like getting us to tour in your location.
Ooh.
And or hosting or something like that. And I was like, that's kind of interesting because it seemed like it was sort of either like made by Microsoft and Mojang. And like put in this one location, but that seemed like it was made by a third-party company with like the AOK of Microsoft and Mojang to sort of produce a Minecraft thing.
Very cool.
So it would be cool. Like I was interested in that. Like as much as Minecraft is sort of again a much younger, I guess, person's game, I do still enjoy Minecraft. As do many others. So I would like to go and see a Minecraft exhibition. And it was sort of the same thing. Like it was like I think a creative look as to what Minecraft would be in real life. So they had like a big creeper diorama up on the wall with like, or a big creeper statue, sorry, that had like a cut down the middle that would show like his insides, how he's made. Like there was a skeleton thing, it was the same thing. It was like, it was kind of cool and interesting. But yeah, so it'd be cool if they could sort of share these things around rather than having them in just one location.
That would be nice.
But that's also wishful thinking, I think. Anywho, Jens, now you found this one earlier. I had no idea what this is. neither did you. But from what little I saw, it looks cool.
I'm actually very sad that I haven't heard of any of this before. But basically, I don't know if you guys know, but I don't know how to even say it. Nacon Connect happened this week. I think it was Tuesday. And they're basically a French company that sell or make gaming like accessories, so controllers and all that jazz. But they also publish and distribute games, and they
got their hand in so many pies. Yeah. It's great. Like they do it all.
And so here's like a little highlight list of some games that they've announced. Some of which I'm actually really excited about. The first one I saw was called Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. That's a
mouthful.
I know. That's going to be a racing game set in Hong Kong. And that's coming out September 22, 2022. So a little bit far away. But
a little bit, yeah.
I highly recommend watching this trailer. I don't know if we can put some links down in the description.
We'll whack it up behind us as well.
But
for those that are watching,
the trailer music and just the setting of it just looks incredible, and I was very much excited about this. So I had to look for other stuff that Nacon had announced. The second
we saw a lot in the comments about this Test Drive Unlimited. Where a lot of people were excited that it was set like in like an Asian city.
Yeah.
Because obviously people, like I think I said last week or the week before when we did our E3 roundup, when they announced the new Forza Horizon game, a lot of people were disappointed that it was set in Mexico and not set in somewhere in like Asia, like, you know, Japan or something like that, which has a very heavy car culture.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the comments were like, holy shit, like these guys beat
Horizon.
You know, the Forza creators at their sort of their own thing. You know, like they're going to be the first to market, which is a very sought after thing in the games industry. Like a lot of the time, it's not how good the game is or like how popular it is. It's sort of what the first one to do it was. What's going to be the first to capture the crowd. So this is quite exciting, and I'm excited to see how they go about it because I do enjoy racing games, but more the arcadey racing games. I'm not the big simulator type person. So if it's arcadey, I'm in. I
believe so.
It looked like it was going to be from the trailer. You know, it looked like it. So, I'll add it to the list. Yeah,
it does look very good. So I'm hoping it's good, and I think it's Test Drive might be a franchise that has been around for a while. So this is just a new release of it.
A fresh look at it.
In a different city.
Cool.
And did you hear about this? There's going to be a Lord of the Rings game.
Now, I knew that they were making a Lord of the Rings game that had Gollum in it. But it was like early days, I think, when I first heard about it, or there was like some rumors that it was a bit 50-50 as to like how it was going to turn out, or like who was going to be making it and all that sort of stuff. But we got our first look at a gameplay trailer, or a somewhat gameplay trailer, I think. It looks kind of cool. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan.
Yeah,
it does. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Lord of the Rings fan. I would like to get into it more, but there's just so much lore that you've got to wrap your head around that it's quite intimidating. There
is a lot.
I do want to play the other Lord of the Rings games that came out that were made by Warner Brothers Game Studios. Forget what they're called, the Shadow of Mordor series. Apparently they're quite popular too.
That should be on Xbox.
And I do own both of them.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I do have both of them. So it's just finding the time to sit down and play them, you know.
Yeah, I hear it is good. I think the second one that came out, the interesting thing about it was that enemies remember your face. So if you didn't defeat
the same with the first
them,
one too.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
That was a really cool mechanic.
It was like this big it was this big thing that they developed just for that game, which I'm yet to see in any other game yet.
Yeah.
You know, but that was pretty cool, you know, like how they went about it. It's sort of, I guess, adds to the whole immersion of it. Like, you know, you failed to defeat a boss one time, then you meet him again 25 hours later, and he's like, "Hey, I remember you from, 3 days ago." Like, that's quite intimidating.
It is good.
Like,
and I think they have the scars from the battle and all that jazz. Anyways.
Yeah, they still have all their cuts and stuff. Like, it's great. Yeah, super cool. Super cool.
The next one that caught my eye is called Steel Rising, and it basically looks like Bloodborne, but robots.
Now, see, I see you have here French robot are 2 words that are written down. Now, Daft Punk are French and also robots. So,
is this the game?
Are they in the trailer?
I mean, they might be.
I haven't
in the
watched
game.
it yet, but. Damn. Okay, I'll have to check it out later.
You have to buy the
email
game.
the devs after this, and I'll have to request a feature. I think.
The sad thing about this one, watching the trailer, it doesn't look very polished.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know if that's just coming from a gaming like snob point of view, because a lot of the comments are like, "This doesn't look the best, but it looks really the idea and the."
I mean, I think it's also like you compare it to a game like Bloodborne or a Soulsborne sort of game. And one of the things that people love about that series is not just the fact that they're really hard and like this whole like the world and the lore and the creativity behind the enemies and all that sort of stuff. But it's just how polished the combat feels. Like it's super like it feels good to combat, and each weapon has its own sort of like feel and vibe to it, and it's so I feel like if you're comparing it to a game like that, it is going to be quite hard to meet those standards, especially coming from a game that is so new, or I guess that really hasn't tried it before,
or at least a game that looks very much like Bloodborne. So you're going to be comparing the two.
Yeah. So every time you sit down and play it, you're going to be comparing it.
So I hope it does good in terms of the combat feel. It does look good. So I'm very curious on what that's going to be like.
Okay. I mean, you'll probably check it out because you're always down to play for sure. Souls-like games and things. So as soon as it comes out, I'm sure you'll be on it.
Well, let's see the price first, but yes.
This is true.
I don't know if this is the first RoboCop game. Have you seen RoboCop?
I feel like no, I haven't. I think they're a bit too old for me.
Wow.
I don't know.
I mean, it is
I was never
old.
interested in RoboCop.
Do you know the premise of RoboCop?
But I think so. It's like, is it not that it's like quite a dystopian city, where crime is quite heavy, so they've started developing robots to help with their crime and stuff like that, I guess. So they're not putting people in danger, they're putting robots in danger. Am I on the right line?
I think.
I don't know. I've never seen it before, so you can't attack me.
So yeah, they're making RoboCop Rogue City, where you play Alex Murphy, aka RoboCop. And it's gonna be a first person.
TM in there.
Yeah, well, I didn't. They did. It's gonna be a first person shooter, and it's gonna be they're gonna create an original story in the franchise universe. So I don't believe it's gonna be following the movie at all. It's
Thank
just
God.
going.
Thank God.
Yeah. It's just gonna be their own version of it, basically. Which
that's good.
I don't know if there is a RoboCop game, but it makes sense.
I assume there has been, but it like would have come out way back when for like the GameCube
ages ago,
or like the Commodore 64 or something like that.
Old.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they would have come out the same time. Like the movies did within 5 or 10 years of them. Bro, see? And you want me to watch movies? Like, come on, bro.
When did RoboCop come out? Later, before that?
Yeah. 87? 86, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe I haven't seen RoboCop.
I mean, having said that, like, I do watch Star Wars, and, like, the original trilogy are, some of my favorites. So, let me just have a RoboCop remake scene 27. What? Oh,
maybe I
1987. Yeah, I was right.
remake.
Cool. Look at that. Wow. 1987 was the first RoboCop to come out.
I don't think I have seen RoboCop.
See, look at
what
this.
Is the one that I did see?
I mean, there's been a couple of them. There's not just one RoboCop. There's so the there's RoboCop 1, which came out in 1997. There's
Yeah.
RoboCop 2, which is 1990. There's RoboCop 3, which is 1993, and then there's RoboCop, which is 2014, which apparently I saw was very critically panned. Look, this is the second and last film of the franchise to be rated PG-13. I love these parts of the podcast where we just sit here and Google things.
Yeah, because we don't do any research.
We don't do research.
Well, no, we do, but we
research is for nerds.
No,
man,
we do. It's just we go off on a tangent that you can't predict.
Yeah.
That we would go on.
No.
What did I watch? Total Recall? What is it?
Are you maybe thinking about like maybe you watched like a Robot Chicken version of RoboCop or something? I
just know that it was in like this weird government built like government housing building. I have to talk to Steven. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, RoboCop game coming out. Last one that piqued my interest is Ad Infinitum. Which
nice. You got the pronunciation that time. Nice.
I got it. It's a horror game, and it's so you descend into the nightmares of a First World War soldier. What, World War One?
No, that's right. Yeah, I'd say that. First World War soldier. So World War One. Yeah. They just worded it weirdly.
Yeah. Okay. And the trailer doesn't reveal a lot at all, but it's
okay.
I like horror, so I'm very intrigued. And I think the trailer looked cool. It gave cool vibes, so I'm very interested in knowing more.
That's enough. That's enough to go off these days.
Exactly.
That's it. That's all we need. You know, you got my $60. Congratulations. Like,
I've been like dying for another horror game, so if this is good, I hope this is going to be good because I just need more. But I'm wondering,
good horror. You know.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm wondering. It says descend into the nightmares, so I'm wondering if it's like PTSD or like
I do wonder.
Are you a soldier? Like you're put into the body of a soldier and going through the motions?
Is it some dystopian?
I think it's
like it.
I think it's a bit dystopian, like Chernobyl, like not our world. It does
look like it. I just flicked through the trailer real quickly. It literally is a 40-second.
It's nothing.
Like teaser trailer. It says it's coming out in 2023. That's it.
Cool.
It seems interesting. The little like symbol that they've got at the end.
I love the symbol at the end.
Like, this is what it makes me feel like it's gonna be not like a reimagining or an interpretation of World War One as to how it actually was. I feel like it's gonna be like aliens or like something different, I guess.
Alien is a good way to put it.
Watching, obviously, it's like a skeleton, but the spine is curving all the way around back to his mouth, so it looks like it's sort of like a snake, I guess. I don't know. Or like there's a whole bunch of barbed wire through it.
Yeah, or like the aliens isolation.
It reminds me
type.
a lot of it reminds me a lot of that.
Anyways, we won't know until late, like
2023.
A long time away. So
literally 2 years away.
Yeah.
I do just want to tack on right at the end here. When I did watch this Nacon Direct thing that Jen sent, it does go for about 45 minutes. So if you want to sit down and watch it through lunch, it is quite a good watch, to see all these trailers and them talk about it in depth. But one of the games that they published for, I guess, is the skateboarding game Session, which is quite exciting because I am sort of a big Session fan or a skateboarding fan. I loved the skate games as a kid growing up.
Never heard of this.
And all sort of stuff. But Session, I guess, is sort of the spiritual successor to the skate games, in a way, because EA for years and years did not want to create a Skate 4 as much as the people wanted it. And they finally caved, and they are making a Skate 4 now. But I think it might be too little, too late if Session. And there's also one other one that is out that
Tony Hawk.
The Tony Hawk one, but there's another one. Let me have. Using my Steam library, that is very similar to Session. They funnily enough came out at give or take the exact same time. So yeah, Skater XL is the other one. Sorry.
Oh.
But they're both like very realistic skater type games that are similar to Skate. In the Skate franchise. So, but yeah, it looks like they're adding a whole bunch of content to Session, which looks incredible. Like a first person mode that looks like they're adding new maps, sort of like a new style. It just looks great. I can't wait for it. So, I'm down to check that out as soon as it comes out. But yeah, that was a Nacon Connect 2021. It was kind of fun. Lots of things that I wasn't expecting, but
yeah, really surprising. So, but I don't think there's any that's coming out this year, so it's gonna be a while since we hear more about these games.
Yeah,
so,
I think the only thing that would have been was maybe the Session stuff, because it just looks like it's DLC or like an update to it. It wasn't like a whole new game. It looks like it was just going to be an update. So, if anything, I would put my money on that coming out this year or very soon next year. Very early next year, I should say. But yes. Anywho's, Jens, I think that's it for the sort of news topics of the week. Now, Loki Ep 4, for those that haven't seen it, please stop listening now, because this was a pretty big episode. I really enjoyed it. I know Jens did too. It was, this is a really good one. So if you guys haven't watched it, please, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. If you have seen Loki Episode 4, welcome.
Oh my god, dude. I've been dying to talk about this episode.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So, Jens, what are your thoughts on this episode? Please?
It was alright.
Not so crazy.
Holy shit. I cried when Mobius got pruned. Because I don't know. For me, anyways, it was so unexpected. I did not expect it to
very
happen.
Out of the blue. Yeah, it was very out of the blue. Yeah.
And I remember when we watched this episode, Stephen was like hypothesizing that, what if it was like Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe? Like, no.
Yeah,
no, not Narnia. What's the
I don't know what you're talking. I do not know
the
what you're
lion,
talking
about. The girl with the dress and the red shoes, the witch. And the dog and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow. What's that?
Alice. Not
Alice.
Wonderland. I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, what if it was that? Because the scary animatronic, like a bad guy in there was like a projection. It wasn't real.
Yeah,
and it was in this anyways. The Timekeepers.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The Wizard of Oz.
Yes!
The Wizard of Oz.
I haven't explained it very well.
Because it was bugging me. No.
Anyways, it was like that. And it was. So the Timekeepers weren't who they say they were. Or are they?
Yeah.
We don't know.
So I still think the Timekeepers are a thing, because obviously they still are affecting the timeline, but the Timekeepers don't know who they are, is the sort of the big revelation. So we found out the Timekeepers themselves are actual, what are they called? Variants, sorry. So we found out that, all the Timekeepers unknowingly to them, and the TVA, the agents, found out there were variants made by the Timekeepers.
Yes.
Which was sort of the big revelation of this whole episode, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we also did find out as well that the Timekeepers were fake. Like I said sort of a little bit earlier, I still think the Timekeepers are a real thing. They just made this as sort of like a whole ruse, like a big ha moment.
Like they knew that this was going to happen, or
no,
we're just gonna hide somewhere else and use.
Yeah, I feel like they just sort of. Yeah, I feel like they just hid themselves really well so that they don't get like just accidentally found out or something like that, because that sort of makes the most sense to me. I still feel like there is someone that's controlling the timeline and that it is keeping it in check, or it's not keeping it in check, but is keeping it going the way that he or she wants it to go. I feel like that's a valid I guess, sort of assumption.
I guess
I
that
do
makes
have my assumptions as to who is behind this.
Oh, I don't know. I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to say it, just in case I sort of like inadvertently
write it out so that I don't
people,
see it. Oh, okay. I was gonna say we should see if you're correct.
Hang on.
For the next.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a pretty common like theory. I think I'm gonna write it down.
I think.
Oh, right. I don't know.
I don't want to think about it. Okay, while you write that down, I was gonna say something. That theory makes sense because maybe it does. I don't know. I could be talking out of my ass, but like the fact that Loki and what's the other Loki called? Sylvie. Like they were in the TVA and nothing jumped like from the timeline. It didn't spike because if they weren't meant to be there, and if the what happened wasn't meant to happen, it would have spiked. So maybe they knew, and that was fine. Anyways, also,
I do get what you mean.
The moment of Sylvie and Loki when they held hands, I thought they were gonna kiss.
Me too.
I wish they did.
It very much seemed like they were going to, but
I wish they did.
I feel like it's good that they didn't. You know,
I feel like it's good that they didn't, because they basically are the same
for the long run.
People.
Yeah,
but
I mean, they are. They're the same
like
person. A cousin. It'd be like
not
a
even the cousin.
Situation,
it's your.
You know what I
it's
mean?
your alternate version of yourself.
It's you. Yeah.
But
it's kind of weird.
Yeah. I love Sylvie. Oh my god. I absolutely love Sylvie.
She's a really good character.
The actress?
She's a really good portrayal of like an alternate Loki.
Oh, 100%. She's so good at the role. Did you write down your prediction?
I did. I have showed the camera.
Okay, cool.
So I hope I'm correct. I also hope I'm not correct, but I hope I'm correct. So I don't I don't want to spoil myself, but I think I've already spoiled myself.
Did you think of this through Reddit or did just
no, I mean this has sort of been a concept that I've had, not in a sense that like when this show came out I was like, oh, the timekeeper's a timeline, someone's got to be controlling it, you gotta like I was, before the Disney Plus things even started, or before this whole phase even started, I was thinking like who could be the Thanos for this like sort of whole thing. And so I feel like the timekeepers in this timeline obviously is a very important theme and concept for this whole phase, and I feel like this is going to be the introduction of the big bad for the whole phase, I guess, like this is going to be where we introduce the new Thanos. So, and this is where I think they have made that person,
We shall see.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. There's multiple people that it could be. But I do have an inkling that this is who it is. So yeah, we shall see. Hopefully next week there is an episode, like we're recording today on a Wednesday, obviously like we sort of always do. So we're gonna watch the new episode 5 tonight, and then next week you guys will get our thoughts on that. So I wonder if they're gonna like showcase who is behind the whole like fake timekeepers thing. In this episode, in episode 5 that's coming out.
Oh, my brain. Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to think. Like, we recorded on Wednesday, we uploaded on a Friday, then we watched the next episode on a Wednesday, then we upload on a Friday. It's hard to, like, think about that.
But it's good for people to catch up in terms of
it is.
Not everyone can watch it within the X amount of days.
I mean, this week, what was it? Last week I said, you know how I recorded on like 4 hours sleep, 3 or 4 hours sleep or something.
Yeah.
Like I went to bed that night and I was like, maybe we should watch the Loki episode, Emma. I got maybe 10 minutes into it and I crashed. I was like, no, I can't, bro.
So many people have fell asleep in Loki.
I mean, that was at no fault to my own, just because I had next to no sleep, but not because it's a boring show by any means, but
there's just a lot.
It's and then we didn't end up watching it until Sunday, just because I was like, you know what, I'm going to be over Emma's on Sunday. I'll just wait and watch it with you then, so we don't have to like do the Disney Plus stream share thing or whatever. So I was just like, we'll wait until then. We could just watch it together. So, but The last thing that I sort of want to touch on before we wrap
Yes.
up, because we've just ticked over an hour, which is quite a long time. But we got our first mid-credit scene for the show so far. In these TV shows, the Disney Plus ones, they don't always do mid-credit scenes like they do with all the movies and whatnot. They don't always have a mid or post-credit scene. It's just in 1 or 2 episodes maybe. But we got the first one, maybe the only one for the season so far.
Yes.
But after Loki also gets pruned, like Mobius did, we assume that he's dead or he's gone to some sort of purgatory somewhere or something like that.
Yeah, because they never explain what happens to you when you get pruned. It's always an assumption that you died, basically. It just didn't seem like a good thing at all.
In the first episode, they made it seem like you're dead. You're evaporated, and they used it as a way to intimidate Loki and to intimidate all the new people that come through the TVA.
Yeah.
They use it as a way to sort of intimidate them, I guess. But it does seem like it sends you to some other worlds, some dimension somewhere. I don't know, some sort of purgatory. We're not too sure. We only did get to see literally like 10 seconds of this. But Loki wakes up in the mid-credit scene, and he looks up. And I did see a comparison of this just before Jenz, but it's a very similar shot to
when the Avengers
end
captured.
Of the first Avengers, and they captured him, and he sort of looks up and he sees them all looking
very
over him.
Good
this
homage
is
to that.
Like it was a 1-to-1. Yeah,
it was done purposely, though. They had to do it. Yeah,
it was. Yeah. But yeah, so Loki looks up and he sees, like I assumed, when Jenz wasn't listening or whatever, those couple of weeks back. Kid Loki, which I got correct. Old school Loki, which I guess you could also. When they revealed Sylvie, I was like, I wonder if there's gonna be other Lokis pop up throughout from like different timelines as well. And so I was like, it would be cool if we could see Kid Loki, if we could see King Loki, if we could see Old Man Loki. I got 2 out of the however many I guessed correct. So we got Kid Loki and Old School Loki / Old Man Loki. The Old School Loki is just, assuming Loki from like the comic book timeline.
You said
because he's wearing like his comic book outfit and whatnot. So, crocodile, alligator Loki, which was really weird. And then I'm not sure about this character. I'm gonna go by his credited name in the credits, but he's named Boastful Loki. Not too sure what this guy's deal is, but seems kind of badass. It looked like he was carrying Mjolnir or like a Mjolnir like weapon, like a hammer. So I'm not sure if this is a timeline where Loki became Thor instead of Thor Odin's son. Who knows? But hopefully, obviously, it would get explored in episode 5 because he's going to be in this whole universe and talking to them and stuff like that. But I also just want to say that the crocodile / alligator Loki, I'm guessing is a shapeshifter Loki and is also going to be another form of Loki, just
a character,
obviously shifted into a crocodile. I feel like he's not going to be playing the crocodile the entire episode, because that'd be a bit weird. I don't know, but
I mean, you never know.
Super excited. You never know. It has been a wild ride and a crazy TV show so far.
Everything, all right.
This is true. Crocodiles do need representation in media these days, so I do agree with that. Yep. Ever since the days of Steve Irwin and stuff like that, crocodiles have sort of fallen off. They're not as popular, I don't think. Like kids aren't growing up looking at crocodiles 24/7 like we did. So, but yeah, fun episode.
Very excited.
Cannot wait for episode 5. Cannot wait. I'm counting. It's 4:20 now where I am.
Did you say final?
An hour and a half away now. No, so this is episode 5, and then episode 6 I think is the last episode.
Oh, okay. I was like
2 weeks.
No, I cannot.
Yeah, I do feel like they're gonna rush the last episode again though. Like I've had the exact same problem I've had with both WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier. The last episode always seemed super rushed. And I feel like they're heading towards that again.
Not a lot has been explained.
No, that's what I mean. It's like they've got a lot of loose ends going at the moment, and they're running out of time to wrap them up in a clean and tidy way. So, but yeah, we'll wait and see. 2 episodes left, 2 more weeks of excitement. And then we also get Black Widow next week. which I found out me and Emma will now have to purchase on Disney Plus because we can't go to the cinemas.
Nope.
Yeah. Which I'm not too mad about. You know, that means we can lay in bed and watch in our pajamas. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, no screaming kid in the background.
Before we wrap up, oh, thank God. Oh, Jesus, thank God. Before we wrap up, though, Jenz, was there anything you wanted to add on before we finish for the week?
No, nothing from me.
Okay.
What about you?
Yeah, no, nothing from me either. You know, same old, same old. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, do make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that little bell notification to make sure you get notified whenever we do upload a video. And yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.